Tasmanian Arboriculture Group, we believe in using arboriculture to have a positive impact on people and the environment. We specialize in arboriculture consulting, tree asset management, and vegetation management.
I'm just always fascinated by the ways that trees grow and why they do what they do, and I'm always wanting to learn more about that, so getting to spend all my time looking at them and thinking about that is really great. And my favourite tree, maybe the white gum, Eucalyptus viminalis, just because it's native to where I live, so it always reminds me of home, and they can get just so amazingly tall and they provide habitat for so many different species. So wherever possible, we always want to be finding a solution to help our clients retain their trees. There's so many benefits to having trees around, socially, environmentally, ecologically. They provide so much for people and for our environment, so we always want to be looking for ways to help retain them and manage them to keep them healthy long term for our clients.
This one here is not normally that low, and the ones over there are not normally that low.
Okay.
So it's going to need a good look at, and we might need to do quite a bit of trimming.
We're really, in the grand scheme of things, not going to be taking very much. This species
It drops the lower branches over time. Yeah, it's one of its defences against fire.
Oh, really?
Keep the branches up high as the tree grows. In the wild, it's fine, a branch falls off. It doesn't matter. At a school, we need to make sure that we're in control of when it comes down. You see it, man? The crack? You can see all the way through it. Probably needs a little bit of weight off the branch because it's hanging really low. We might trim some, give it a little bit of a prune to make the branch a bit lighter, and it may spring back up. And if it doesn't, then maybe the whole branch will need to be removed, but it'd be nice to retain as much as we possibly can because it's a really beautiful tree. We'd like to keep it happy and healthy for at least another 100 years. We'll have a look and get some photos and do all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
So Mackenzie is one of our client managers. He deals directly with residential clients, but also commercial clients, in particular schools, golf courses, and any other organisation that has trees that need to be managed on their property.
Cupressaceae family, so it's related to the cypresses. These needles here have branchlets and they have on them the leaf, which is this little spiky part right there. Pines have their leaves in packets, so they say, so they have long thin needles that are grouped together, usually into groups 2, 3, 4, attached to the branch, whereas these have little sharp leaves pressed against the branchlets, but you can see like it goes all the way up the branch. These are all the leaves, all the way up. Yeah, it's got an ant's nest in the bottom of it. All this dust, I reckon, is probably from the ants digging their nest out, and they're all over it here. I think I would be Melaleuca ericofolia, which is the swamp paper bark. I don't know, I really like them, and they seem to thrive in the strangest places. And they do their own thing, which I really like. The elm leaf beetle, it's a pest specifically for elm trees. Beetles lay their eggs inside the leaves, and then the larvae eat their way out and will completely eat all of the leaf material, which defoliates the tree, so it can't photosynthesize, and that can really negatively affect the health of it over years. The larvae have grown up, they crawl down the trunk, they go into the soil where they hibernate, and then the next year they come out and they do the same thing again. And so over a couple of seasons, if it's bad, it will kill the tree because it will have season after season of not getting any energy and nutrients from its leaves. How you going?
Good, how are you?
Good, Mackenzie. The property manager just asked me to have a look at a tree around the back of the house.
Yeah, come on through.
Yeah, so this one here, that's mirror bush. That's an environmental weed spread by birds. And then the one behind it is Pittosporum bicolor, which is also an environmental weed. They both have really nice fruits. And the birds eat them and then come along, spread them around, and they grow everywhere.
So the best thing to do is to remove environmental weeds.
And also start to scope out where the truck's going to go and logistics of the job to make sure that when the guys get here, they're going to be able to do what they need to do to make it clear, like there's going to be enough room to back a truck down. In suburban areas, there's like a lot of power lines and things can be in your way. So I'll have a look for that as well.
I really like trees, and I
Yep.
like having big trees around. That's got way too big though, because it obscures everyone's kind of like.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And the other thing is, I'm really nervous about what it's actually doing to the retaining wall.
Got to be reduced down a bit. They get pretty massive. Where it is, yeah, they can't just spread its roots as much as it wants and all that sort of thing. Start with lifting the branches and reducing the height, and then, yeah, depending on what the wall looks like, we can go from there. All right. Today we spent the morning in Blackman's Bay doing a quote there. After that, it was off to North Hobart. We were looking at an alder and some silver birches in a backyard that might be damaging a retaining wall with their roots. And finally, we've been in Geilston Bay looking at the pruning of a callistemon, which has grown too tall for the spot it's in and just needs to be trimmed back to form a nice hedge. That's a pretty standard day, I would say. Just meeting with the clients and making sure that we know what they need and what they'd like to achieve, and letting them know what's going to be best for their trees. That way, when the guys get to site, they've got really clear instructions, and the client has really clear expectations about what we're going to be doing. The main impact that my job has, I like to think, is to help people maintain their trees and retain them, keep them healthy, and to encourage people to see their trees as an asset and not just a risk. And so I think through my career, I'd like to continue working with schools and other land managers especially to work in the assessment side and consulting to help them manage their trees and manage them as an asset, as something that is valuable and that they should want to keep around for as long as possible, rather than something that's just a piece of the scenery.